Why NATO? And why must this organization continue to exist? Let's go back to the beginning of the story.
70 years ago, at the start of the Cold War, the Democratic West rallied in the face of a threat to their freedom. This was the beginning of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. At the heart of the alliance was a promise, a commitment. Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, which created NATO. Article 5 declares that an armed attack on one member of the alliance shall be considered an attack against all. There was security in numbers, and there still is. For 70 years, NATO has helped to maintain peace on the European continent. And when the American homeland was attacked on September the 11th, our allies honored their pledge to defend us, the only time that NATO's Article 5 commitment has been invoked in its 70-year history. Today, however, many of the benefits that our alliance provides to the United States are not always apparent at first glance. I wanted to understand more about the advantages of NATO membership by talking to General André Lanata, a French general who commands NATO's Allied Command Transformation here in Norfolk, Virginia. General Lanata follows a long line of European soldiers who helped the United States secure its independence and continue today to help us defend our freedom. Thank you for the privilege of some of your time. Sir, it's the 70th anniversary of NATO, the most successful alliance in the history of the world. What would you want Americans to know about NATO? Why NATO is important for the United States?
American and especially young generation should have in mind what is war. 70 years ago, a group of nations decided to build this strong alliance to avoid any kind of new challenge like that. Instability in Europe will affect North America. ACT is a command transformation, is a strategic command which helps NATO to adapt to this changing environment. And for me, it is a good symbol to have this strategic command in the US territory, showing the transatlantic bond and bridging, not only because we prepare the future, but bridging the two sides of the Atlantic.
One of the things that has bound us all together in the alliance since 1949 is a sense of shared values.
Democracy, freedoms, and the rule of law. So that's the three principles which are shared between our nations and which bring our cohesion, because we share this founding.
How do you, as the commander of Allied Command Transformation, view the threats facing the alliance?
Today, of course, we face an uncertain, unpredictable environment between strategic competitors on one side and a kind of instability with terrorism. And so, of course, it is challenging, because we are an alliance of 29 nations, and here in ACT we provide the same direction, a kind of interoperability, a kind of support to every nations in terms, in very concrete terms, concept and doctrines, education and training, experimentation, new technologies, and we cover all the spectrum of our capability development. These threats have no boundaries. It is the reason why we need to address it collectively.
I'm probably going to plagiarize what you just said. The threats come with no boundaries, which is why we have to work together collectively. What a great thought.
Exactly. I think we cannot, in the today's world, address so complex challenges by alone, even if we are the strongest, if I may. The threats will target the weakened element of our alliance.
What can we do to strengthen and improve the cohesion amongst the members?
Here you have the proof when you see all these military people coming from 29 nations around the same table, that we build this cohesion on a day-to-day basis and in a very concrete way. And so the best way to build this cohesion is to understand each other and to work together on a common endeavor.
How do we address the topic of burden sharing? How do we make sure that friction between the nations about this does not degrade the cohesion of the alliance?
Everybody understood, and at the political levels, this need to increase our efforts. At my level, I will introduce on a very concrete basis new targets for all nations in our defense planning.
Thank you very much. To see you here representing the alliance, also France, which not too far from here helped us earn our independence 2.5 centuries ago. It's a pleasure to get to meet you.
Thank you very much.